Salam guys! Welcome to Twice Inspired with Habiba
and Shukri.
So we really hope this podcast will inspire you.
We're just two best friends who love to have deep, meaningful conversations.
And even though the things we're going to talk about are nothing new,
sometimes it's helpful to hear it twice so you can be twice inspired.
Salam guys! You're listening to episode 5 with Twice Inspired. In this episode, Shukri and I just have a good old chit chat, to be honest. Just a typical conversation between Shukri and Habiba where we talk about lots of different topics. And so in this episode, we talk about parenthood, marriage, how we deal with the bad days, our hijab struggles, and we talk about the books we're reading and much, much more. So I hope you enjoy listening as much as we enjoyed having this conversation.
How's life in lockdown number 3? I mean, it just feels like normal now.
Yeah, how's lockdown for you? Because right now I'm abroad in it, so it doesn't even feel like it's lockdown for me because the country I'm in is basically
that's true.
Lockdown. But
that's true.
Before I came here, lockdown was going okay. Like, it was okay. And I think you appreciate the moments that you do get to see people. They're a lot more precious because it's like, oh my gosh, I miss this human interaction. So you kind of become appreciative of normal things like that you took for granted before.
I feel like how's lockdown is like one of those questions as well, where it's like, oh, like I hate that question. Like I don't mind asking it, but when someone asks me, I'm just like, it's the same as it was last month. Like it's the same. But I think like with teaching, it's much better because we have live lessons, so it's more interactive. Whereas last time we were just setting work online, collecting their work. It was very like it was. I was just like, this is not my job. Like it didn't feel like we were teaching. But now, because obviously like the kids log on and we're actually like delivering the lesson, and it feels more like a lesson because I'm actually talking to them. But it's not the same obviously behind the screen, and hopefully like we'll just get back to normal because I just like being around people. Like I just like the school environment, like coming in, speaking to everyone, like staff room, like speaking to the kids, like how are you, like, you know, just that interaction.
Yeah, I can imagine. I do feel sorry for people like you.
To be fair, like I feel like over the last few days I've been deep in it. Like I have started to appreciate my own company a little bit. Like
that's good.
Because like I've been doing like some home workouts because it's been raining and cold and stuff. I didn't want to go for a walk, but like I've been doing some home workouts and like just chilling by myself, like journaling and stuff like that. Because it's half term, I actually don't have anything to do, so my time is up to me. But yeah, so it's been good. Like I'm not I always prefer being around people, but I just think I'm a little bit more like I'm okay.
It's funny because I'm with family here. It's like I'm constantly around people, and like in the beginning, fine, and then I came to a point where I realized, oh my god, I need some time alone. Like I just need like half an hour to myself, and then like when you have that time alone, it feels so good, and then it just makes me think of like mothers who are like constantly around their children and probably never have time to themselves. Like it must be stressful, but I guess you just get used to it, and that's motherhood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly.
Maybe that's something
it's important.
About, because like marriage and like the different, like how roles in marriages have changed and stuff these days, and how men aren't like, what's the word, stepping up to their role and responsibilities as fathers. And as
who are you angry at? It's like Habiba secretly married and she's angry at her husband.
Not myself, innit? Like
I'm joking.
I haven't experienced anything like that because I'm not married, obviously. But just like things I see around me and things like that. Obviously, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of amazing fathers out there and amazing husbands. But I think the worst thing is when men feel like they're justified in what they do, and they use Islam to justify it. Like, women are meant to stay at home more. Women are meant to look after children. Firstly, yeah, like, okay, yeah, women, of course, we're meant to look after children, but so are you. Like, you're a father.
Yeah, they're your kids.
Of course, providing is one
they're your kids.
After your kids, but not going out and having leisure activities. Don't try and claim that that's part of your allowance as being a father when your wife doesn't have that either. Like, I mean, when your wife doesn't have that herself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think it should be equal. I think a father and a mother should have equal leisure time. But these men, certain men these days, or should not even say men, boys, seem to think, no, but that's your role as a mother to stay at home and be with the kids. So naturally the father has more leisure time. No, where are you getting that from?
Nah, yeah, no, I think definitely 100% it's a partnership. Like, I feel like you need to be working together, so you both put in like equal amount of work and you both have some rest time. Otherwise it's not fair. Like, how do you expect that to work if someone's at home, like, they're just,
the mum staying at home looking after the kids and the father going out to work? That's both equally balanced. Do you know what I mean? But when
they both have that burden of the hard work, and then they both have
but then when but the father's going out having all this leisure time while the mother's still looking after the kids, that's when it becomes unequal and like fair kind of thing.
No, that's not. But also, like, not even the time of, like, obviously kids are difficult, but it's also like, as a father and as a man, like, would you not want to spend time with your kids and like help them to develop and to grow? And like, all children need both parents. Like, the mum can do all that she can do, but do you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, like, I don't know, actually, obviously I don't know anything about psychology, but there might be something about like the difference between like single parent homes and like people with two parents. Like, there must be, because there's that masculine energy and that feminine energy, 100%. And I feel like everyone needs both. Like, you need the balance. Like,
and that's the problem. It's sad because like there are fathers out there who aren't like inclined to spending time with their children and stuff, and like, I get it maybe because
then why are you having kids? Like,
mothers are naturally more maternal and things like that. And as a father, if you've chosen for your main role to be providing, fair enough, and like, that's good because that is your role and responsibility. And if you don't particularly like spending time with your kids, force yourself. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean you can go out and chill with your friends just because you don't like spending time with your kids. Like, so like, sometimes things are a struggle in life, but you just have to do it. Like, we might not like particularly praying or fasting, but we know we have to do it because that's commanded by Allah. Like, and eventually,
I feel like that's just
worship as well. You should come to a point where you do enjoy it, and same thing with your kids.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's just so sad that even that thought of like, you don't particularly like spending time. Obviously, they're not your age mates, but like, for example, like Mahaza, I know he really, really wants to have kids. I know there's a lot of men that really want to have kids and they want to like go and play with them, go to the park, play football, do these all this like childish stuff because they're kind of childish themselves. But it's like, you like, it's sad to think that you're like, oh no, I don't want to spend time with it. Like, your kids are not they're not like bad people, do you know what I mean? Like, kids are fun, especially if like the mother is the one that's like changing them, waking up, feeding them, cooking, blah blah blah. Like, you just need to spend time with them. Like, kids just want to have fun. Like, they just want to,
like, something I think to look out for when you are getting married as well, that your husband
100%.
to be, or the person you're considering, is like, not only is eager to have kids, but is good with kids. Because sometimes you can tell certain guys are just really good with kids naturally, mashallah, and like they play with them, they just get on with them really easy. And then some guys, like, they're not really interested in kids like that. Like, they're not really like playing with them and stuff like that. So obviously you can't, those guys that are like that, we can't leave them out. But like, they need to
deserve love too.
maybe like speak to them about it and like be like, it's really important for me that my husband is like interactive with the kids and plays with them and stuff like that. So maybe if that is something you struggle with, try and work on it. I don't know. But me personally,
I feel like it's mad.
You have to like,
I feel like it's mad to even have to say that. It's just a given. Like, if you want kids, which I assume that you would if we both talk about it, then that's your responsibility. You don't just have kids and then you just catch up with them 16 years later when they're grown ups.
And hopefully when a man like that or when someone like that does actually have kids, they maybe naturally will be inclined towards them anyway. Because I know some women, they're not like, actually, I don't even know women that are like this, but like, I don't know, maybe there are some women who aren't that maternal. Like when they see babies, they're not like, oh my God. And when they see kids, they're like, oh my God, I love kids. But when they do have their own, you naturally do become like that. Obviously, there are things like postnatal depression and things like that. But obviously, I think Allah has made women to naturally be like that, because you need at least one figure parent that is trying to be like that. But
I was going to say it's so important because, you know, everything in life, like all the trauma and all the stuff that people talk about when they grow up and the issues that they have, is from your childhood. Like everything is about like your childhood, your upbringing, your parents. It's so important. So it's like, for me, I'm just like, I need to overthink about this. Like I need to think about it too much. Not just be like, yeah, I have kids and like we'll go with the 100%. Flow. Obviously, you should just be like, you know, hopefully Allah just helps us and we'll just make it work. But it's not like it easy. Like I feel like, I don't know, the older generation maybe just thought, you know, you just have kids, it just is what it is. And then like now everyone's grown up and has like these buried traumas, from their childhood. So I think it is really, really important to make sure that like you're always, it's not easy obviously, and like I'm not a child psychologist, but like I have heard that like everything, and like also the person that you are and all these influences that you have, like it all goes back to your childhood, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like that video you sent me yesterday, the woman was saying how ages from 0 to 7 are the most important years, because that will basically shape who you become, kind of thing, and all your traumas and all of that. And like for me, it's something I'm trying to work on myself from now, so that when I'm a mother, I'll be a good mother. You know what I mean? It's not something just, okay, now I'm pregnant, that's it. It's something you think about before, and you should think about before. Even like Islamically, when you're choosing a spouse, you should choose a spouse with your kids in mind. Like, if this person's going to be a good father or a mother to my kids, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And like, actually, I just thought randomly now of this question, like, well, not randomly because of the conversation we're having, but you know, like that thing, you know how we just said that everything, like the person that you are is because of like your upbringing, your parents, like your childhood, like, and that affects people into their adulthood. Like I feel like people get to an adult, then they start to realize it. Do you get it? Yeah. But like, what do you think about people? Like, when does it become your responsibility? Do you get it? So like, for example, someone could act in a certain type of way and have negative patterns of behavior because of like how they were treated as a child, but then what they're doing is not right, even though it has a reason. When do you think that's like you have to change now?
I think it's difficult because apparently with trauma, if you, for example, if you went through a really traumatic incident when you were 7, it's like your emotional intelligence almost gets stunted to that age. So it's like when you're like a 30-year-old, sometimes you might act emotionally a bit like a child and not be able to deal with your emotions properly, because when you went through that traumatic incident, it kind of stunted you a little bit. So it's difficult because you might be 30 years old, but find it so difficult to deal with your emotions. And it's like, I don't know, because it's like, it's deep, the things you go through sometimes. Like I'm talking about abuse and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I think
like proper.
Like when you realize yourself, okay, I clearly need to heal. I think it's important maybe then, because sometimes you might hide for ages. You might hide that trauma for ages, and then it might come out in life. And I think when you realize, that's when you need to sort it out and not procrastinate anymore, kind of thing. But I don't know, because I'm not someone who's been through mad like.
No, but me, I think
not from my own personal experience. Sorry, like literally just recently in the last few months, I kind of realized, okay, maybe like I need to like delve into my past and like explore my traumas, whatever, like just explore things and heal, because clearly maybe things in my childhood did affect me, and I'm only realizing now, and I'm 24. Do you know what I mean? So
that's crazy. No, I think like sometimes people don't even know. Like I agree with you. I think once you know and once you realize, okay, I keep doing this, or like someone pulls you up or a good friend of yours tells you, you keep doing this and it's not right kind of thing, and you're like, okay, that's true. Because I think a lot of people can get into old age and still be acting how they're acting because either people don't tell them, or because people do tell them but they don't care, and like they just have people around them that just they've managed to just go through life and they don't want to change it or anything. But I feel like, yeah, once you realize, okay, I do this and like maybe it's not good, then it becomes your responsibility, like, because it's like it's not your fault that it happened to you, but you have to kind of change that and stuff. Like, for example, you know, people talk about like daddy issues and stuff. Yeah. Do you know what I don't like about that term? Like,
same, I kind of don't like that term.
I really hate that term because I feel like everyone has parental issues, mummy issues and daddy issues. But when you say daddy issues, it sounds like you're basically a hoe and like you just like your dad was not there and now you're like a messed up little girl or like woman. And so I just don't like that connotation. But I feel like everyone does have those issues, but after a while, if you're doing certain actions that are leading to like you're not even happy, like I feel like in those situations that people are chasing happy.
Someone asked us what books we're reading, but Shiku's finished reading it, but it's still out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm currently reading as well. But I read a while ago Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it's a really good book. I know that loads of people have heard about it. And like I was thinking, oh my god, is this going to be like The Power of Habit? Because obviously I have already read that, but it is different, and like he does kind of reference Power of Habit and says good things about it as well. But I'm just gonna maybe like I'll just pick out some things and then like we can just both talk about it. But he talks about like you shouldn't have goals. You know, like sometimes, like all the time when we're like, okay, I want to change, you set yourself these goals. But he talks about how like you should forget about goals and instead you need to focus on systems, because goals are just about the result. Like they're just about, okay, I want to win this race, I want to pass this test. But systems are like the processes. And basically he was saying that winners and losers have the same goals. So that's what true. Differentiates winners and losers. Like it's not the goal that makes you do it. Do you get it? It's the system that you put in place.
That makes sense.
So okay, that was really good.
You need to have the goal in the first place, don't you?
Yeah, but it's like
focus more.
Basically, he was talking.
The goal.
Yeah, he was talking about all the reasons why goals are not that good, because it's like once you've achieved that goal, then that's it. It's not like long lasting. Whereas if you're like, I want to be this kind of person, it's like you're changing. This is what I really liked about the book. Yeah, he was talking about like not just specific things with change, but like how you should change your identity. Like if you, rather than saying I want to read 50 books this year, you're just saying I want to be a more active reader, or like I want to write. I want to be a writer rather than I need to write this amount. Like I want to be a healthy person rather than I want to lose this much weight.
Yeah.
So it's like about your identity. I really like that, because I feel like before, even though like I would have all these goals for fitness, I would never dare to say that I'm a healthy person. Do you get it? Like I would never be like, I'm a healthy person. But if you think that, then you think, what would a healthy person do? Would a healthy person eat these chips or whatever? Like you start to see yourself as that person.
Yeah, 100%.
So you wouldn't actually do it. So that was really interesting. He also said the best is the enemy of good. And he was talking about like you can walk slowly, but just the best.
Oh, the best.
It's about perfectionism and always trying. You don't have to do it as the best that you possibly can. You just need to start and you need to keep going. So that can actually hold people back, because it's like they want to do things in a specific way. Oh, and also this is something I said on my Instagram as well, like the difference between action and being in motion. Did you watch that Instagram?
Yeah.
Story? Did you actually? Because you don't listen to, you don't watch my stories.
But, I'm a good friend.
Basically saying like being in motion is
the time anyway, because sometimes if I'm out, and like I'll click on your story and then I'm like, okay, Shukri's talking, I can't listen to it right now, let me listen to it later. Yeah. But then sometimes, because I don't go on Instagram that much, I try to go on it once a day. So then it's like, that's my day, that's my time on Instagram done. So then basically by the time I go on it next, your story might have gone. So sometimes that might happen, but yeah.
That's so good though. Like, I feel like we should talk about that in a second, because I am just on my phone too much these days, I think. But I'll just say a few more points. So basically, he said, did I say, yeah, the best is that, being in motion is like all the planning you do. And I realized I do this so much when, if you want to do something, for example, write a book, and then you start planning everything. You plan the outline, you plan the chapters, you plan what it's going to be about, you plan the themes. But the only thing you're not doing is writing it, or like you're thinking about it, and you're reading books about writing, and you're watching videos about writing, but like you're not writing. So being in motion is like doing all the planning. You're planning about it and you're thinking about it, you're creating the timetable, but you're not actually doing it. But it feels like you're doing it, but you're not. And then obviously action is the actual doing it. But yeah, so like I remember I said that on my story, and loads of people were like, on my days, that is so true. They always do that.
Yeah, it's like revision timetables and like spending hours writing it out. And then it's like, that's why I never actually used to like do things like that, because I felt like I was wasting my time. Because I was like, firstly, am I even going to stick to this? Let me just start revising. Do you know what I mean?
There was this girl at school, yeah. Oh my God, it was so hilarious, yeah. Because every single time I walked into the sixth form study, like these two girls are so funny. Like from my school, they used to be on the on their computer, like just creating vision timetables and like in-depth vision timetables and checklists. And it was so funny because we would laugh about it because we all understood, like, but after they would do it, they would feel really accomplished, like, okay, work done for today. And it was so funny, but they were really smart anyway. But I know that feeling.
But I think it is important to plan, because failing to plan is planning to fail.
What's to fail. Yeah, that's the saying.
Yeah, like
planning to fail, failing to
plan, obviously.
No, that was
moderation kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely important to plan, but there comes a point, if it's been 6 months and you haven't written anything, just write. You know what I mean? Like,
look, like we had that with the podcast, didn't it? Like we planned and we planned and we planned some more. We set like 10 different like launch dates, and then I think one time we were just like, let's just do it.
Let's just do it, because you can't just keep discussing things. So basically, because he was saying like, it's okay if it's good, just keep doing it. And that kind of links to, I guess, the next one, where he said like, loads of people ask like, how long does it take to form a habit? But that's not the right question. It's about like how many. So it's like how much you do it. So like if you're doing exercise, it's not, because you know people do like these 30-day challenges, 20-day challenges, and it doesn't matter. There's no magic, like there's no magical thing about time passing. It's just about how much, like the rate that you do it.
It's true.
So I changed my mind in that, like how many does it take? I am aware that I've been, rather than how long exactly, I'm aware that I've been talking for ages, but I'm gonna just
good stuff. Go on.
His four, like the main thing in here is like his 4 laws of behavior change, and he talks about like the reason why I like this book is because it gave you like the practical things of like what to actually do, rather than like the science behind habits. Okay, so basically it was like, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying.
What's this, a new habit that you want to implement?
Yeah. So like, and the funny thing is, so basically I did a lot of these things and it was going so well. One of the things he talks about is like, whatever is immediately rewarded is repeated, and whatever is immediately punished is avoided. So all that basically means is that like, if you get a reward straight after, you're going to do it again, and if you get a punishment, you're going to stop doing it. Yeah. So he was saying that like, if you do something good, you should give yourself, he talks about how you should make it satisfying for yourself. So one of the ways you can do that is a habit tracker, and it does work. So basically, we're just saying like, you know, when you have different habits, give yourself a little reward at the end. Obviously, if your habit is trying to lose weight, you don't give yourself a chocolate at the end, but there's different ways that you can make yourself, like if you're saving money, at the end you get a trip, or like whatever, like you get a nice massage or whatever. So I did a habit tracker, and like, I'm not gonna lie, it really does work. Like, well, it did work a lot at the beginning, because like you write out the habits, and then once you've done it, you cross it off. Yeah. And then obviously it feels nice to like cross it off for each day, and then you can track it and you're like, oh my God, I'm doing so well.
When did you do this?
And then, so I did this like right at the end of January. So like 3 weeks ago. And I did read, write, exercise, and journal. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like the first week I did every single day. Then the next week I missed out just like one day. Then the third week I just missed out one day. But I was proper doing it. I was like, especially exercise, I didn't miss a day. Yeah, because I felt so good. But basically, one of the other ones is like make it easy. So instead of saying I'm gonna read, say I'm gonna read a page. Instead of saying like I'm gonna study, just say open your, like make it easy. So I did that as well. Yeah. And I said, like, for reading, just read a page. For writing, just write for 20 minutes. And then, yeah. So it was good. But then I got a bit, but then it got I got complacent because it was so repetitive.
Yeah.
And I was so bored with like, I was literally, do you know how crazy this is? Yeah. Usually, if I read, I'll read like as much as I want to read, yeah. But because I said read a page, I would read a page, I would close the book, and I would cross it off. I would do 20 minutes on my timer, write for 20 minutes.
Why a habit of yours when you already read a lot?
No, because basically I wanted to read more. Oh, I've actually been reading less.
Oh my gosh.
Even myself.
Yeah,
I could have said
if what's easy for you is reading lots, like why would you make it a page when that's not difficult for you at all?
No, okay, so basically I wanted to read every day. I think maybe I should have said read 20 minutes because in 20 minutes I could read more than a page. Like when I tell you, I would read for like a minute, less than a minute, and then close the book.
That doesn't even make sense.
Because how it doesn't make sense. But I just wanted to cross off the thing. That's it. Yeah. And then I was like, I can't read like this. And then like I got so trapped in this system that I created.
Trapped in the system.
I don't know why I said to myself, read a page. Even if I said read 10 pages, that's something. But read a page, like it wasn't even a minute. It wasn't even a minute. Like it was ridiculous. Maybe that was to do with me, not to do with the
That's what I tell myself for Quran. I'm like, read a page of Quran because obviously Quran's like
that's good
Arabic and stuff in it, not a freaking English book. No, but I know the concept what you were trying to go for. But yeah,
because basically, even though I do read, I wasn't reading like every day. I would read for like an hour or 2 hours a day. I mean, like a day, then maybe miss one out, then read again, and then like when I was like halfway through the book, now I'd be like really into it, so I would read it until it was finished, and it would like it shouldn't really take me that long to finish a book, yeah. But
yeah. So then what happened? How do you?
So basically, no, I'm there now. So basically, I stopped. Yeah, I stopped because I was just like, it was half term on Friday. Like I did everything, and then I was still doing exercise. I was going for walks. I was doing workouts, and I was still journaling because journaling's easy for me because I just write my thoughts. But the others, like I just stopped them, and then I was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna take a break. And then I'm still on the break.
Why do you think it didn't work? So do you think you just set too easy boundaries?
Yeah, and also I'm thinking maybe with reading, I don't like it when it feels like a chore because now I feel like I don't want to read. Like usually I would be excited, okay, it's half term, like now I'm gonna read more. But now I'm just like, I just don't want to, like, it's just about starting.
Like, don't let your failures kind of get you down.
Yeah, literally, like I think it's fine to fail, but just don't keep failing. Just don't keep like get back started. But yeah, guys, it's a really good book. I definitely recommend it.
This habit tracker, what could have you
so basically
failed? That's not very good. You have to tell us why, like what why did it fail? Was it like what could have you done differently?
Okay, so with me, I think I shouldn't have put reading on there because I think when I made it a thing, it became too serious. Like I feel like reading needs to be a pleasure thing. Like I don't need it to be a proper habit. But to be honest, like with exercise, I've kept up with that.
Yeah, so and then with my other habits, just not.
Yeah, it helped with that. Everything. Yeah. Oh my god, actually, like it. So you need to figure out which ones you actually want to do. So basically, yeah, like that's just what you need to think about. With like writing, it helped a lot as well because basically, I've been trying to write something for like Years, yeah. Years. I'm saying years. Like, I'm not even joking, yeah. And I would always get to like 5,000 words, 6,000 words. And then like, I would just be like, this is rubbish, yeah. And then doing this tracker thing, basically, I think I just got too laid back because within like 14 days or 15 days, I had written 10,000 words.
Oh, wow.
Literally. And I was like, oh my days, like I'm going to finish this whole thing like within the month. Okay, it's making me want to get back onto it. I'm going to carry on. But
yeah, carry on.
It was really good because it makes like I realized is like I took one day off.
Oh my god, I feel like it's saying, don't let your failure be your failure.
What a good thing. But think about how many things like you took one day off and now you're here. Do you get it?
I'm dead. Yeah.
You took one day off here. But to be fair, it's been 6 days. I'll start today. Yeah, and 100%. So it's really good. It's just obviously think about what are your habits. Maybe don't do too many.
Yeah.
Also, the habit tracker, it doesn't have to be the only way to make it satisfying. He did say over a long period of time, you can focus too much on just wanting to tick the box, which is literally what I did. So you can do other things like if you write this much, if you read, or you can set up a meeting with your friends and like have some social time, watch this show, treat yourself whatever you like.
Yeah, I think bear in mind as well that there might come a point where like you reached your high and then it's like you might come a bit of a low, because I think that's what happens with these like
100
like self-improvement and self-development things. Like you reach a high. This is what happened with me anyway. Like I reached a really nice high and then like I crashed low after. Just remember, you're not always going to stay on that high, but as long as you just continue trying and staying on that journey.
Like you don't want to, but you must. I guess the whole idea of it is that like doing these little tiny things like leads to big change. So even that idea, you were just saying now, like there's going to be a time where you crash or whatever. Like I think what I need to remind myself is to not like put too much hope into things. Like because I write for 20 minutes today, it doesn't mean I'm gonna have a full novel today. So it's like someone else was saying this on my Instagram story where I was like, you won't, what was it? Like you won't get the benefits of what you're doing right now. Like it doesn't come at the same time. So I think I need to focus my mind, okay, like this is going to be the difficult part, and like this is like my motivation is gone, I can't really see the end product, but like if you can find the satisfaction in like doing that thing in itself, I feel like I can genuinely feel that with exercise now, but it took me ages to get there. Like I'm not thinking about like I don't need to be like super thin right now, or do you get it? Like when I do exercise, I feel better just by doing exercise.
It's for the future kind of thing. And
like
feelings of goodness in that moment. But with some things you might not feel good straight away, but you know that it will help you later.
Exactly. Like with you, actually, I was gonna ask you, with the whole like social media, like this whole instant gratification thing, I feel like social media is that it gives you such instant gratification because you're like next video, and it's so hard to detach from that.
Because
like
then
what
your
are
brain
some
gets
tips
used to it.
Exactly. Like how have you managed to like go onto social media less and not give into that urge of I need to check my phone?
I still get that urge sometimes, not gonna lie, but like for example, yesterday I went through the whole day of like just not going on Instagram because I was busy, like I didn't have time to. Then at the end of the day I realized, oh my god, I haven't gone on Instagram today, I might miss someone's story, like I might. So I was like, do you know what, it doesn't matter, like go to sleep, you're tired, do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to go on Instagram. But then I ended up going on it, but it was fine because I feel like, once a day is okay kind of thing. But back to your question, I think firstly realizing the the detrimental effects it can have on you. And I say detrimental, that sounds so extreme, yeah, but it's like these little things do have an effect on you. Like constantly being on your phone and constantly receiving gratification and just occupying your mind through your screen is not a good way to live. Like, just enjoy life and live life, just sometimes doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's why even when I go for walks, when I go for jogs, like I don't always like listening to things or doing things. I like to just live in the moment of walking and like looking at things around me and not listening to anything in my ears, kind of thing.
yeah,
I don't know, yeah, just realizing that it's not good to always like have a dopamine rush and just have this gratification, because then you rely on it and then it's just like you constantly need it. And just building that habit of, like, in the beginning it was really difficult to like go on Instagram only once a day, but now it's like quite normal. And also keep yourself busy with things that are important and that are good. So if you're too busy reading or too busy spending time with family or too busy working on projects that you want to do, you're not going to have time to go on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's important. Prioritize what's important in life. Like, it's important to read a book rather than go on Instagram. Like, I try to carry a book with me in my bag all the time, so that if I'm just like out somewhere, rather than going on my phone, I'll try and read a book or something.
Yeah,
obviously, don't get me wrong, really that does not happen all the time, and half the time the book stays in my bag. Like, it's like the odd time here and there where I do read instead of going on my phone. Like, it feels good and it feels nice, and like, it's just little baby steps. Do you know what I mean? That I'm reading this book called The Book of Assistance by Imam Abdullah ibn Alawi al-Haddad, which was written, let me see when it was written, I think.
Remember when I said Dale Carnegie book was written in 1830?
I'm dead. Oh, the 12th century. The 12th Islamic century. So yeah, the 12th Islamic century. So this book is just really lovely, and I've only read a few chapters, but it was so inspiring and so like beautiful. And even though the things I read, like, I kind of already know, but it's like the way it's written is really beautiful. And then he just talks about how so each chapter is like a different kind of like quality. So, like, for example, the first one is certainty, and then the second one is on intention, and then the third one is on vigilance. So, like, the first chapter was on certainty. So he's basically saying the reason certainty is so important is because if you're certain that Allah exists, and you're certain of the day of judgment, and you're certain of all of these things, you naturally will have so much like taqwa and like consciousness of God, because you're so certain of it. Do you know what I mean? So you're naturally just always going to be on top of things and just wanting to be a good Muslim, because you're certain that, you know, death is going to come to you and that hellfire and Jannah exists, kind of thing. So it's just really beautiful. And then the second chapter was like on intention, and he was saying how everything we do should be with the intention of worshipping Allah. Like, even just eating, sleeping, we can have the intention. For example, eating, firstly, we can have the intention, I'm eating so that this is going to give me energy to worship Allah, to pray, to read Quran, to do these things. But you could also just have the intention that I'm obeying Allah by eating, because in the Quran, Allah says, like, eat from the good that we've provided for you, kind of thing. So you're literally obeying a command from Allah and from the Quran, kind of thing. So if you have that intention every time you eat, you're basically just getting rewarded for eating. And it's like basically everything you do in life, just revolving it around having that intention, worship, and for Allah. And that's kind of what it means to that we're created for the purpose of worshipping Allah, kind of thing.
That's good. I feel like if people keep remembering that, it's like it's not actually healthy to keep chasing a feeling just to feel good all the time. Like, I feel like sometimes in society that's what is kind of put out, like, you just need to feel good, everyone just wants to feel good. But it's like, no, sometimes if you need to do difficult things, you need to struggle, you need to have a challenge, and that can make you feel good. Like, it's not nice to always get things easy. Do you know what I mean? it's the process, you know, it's a process, and you can enjoy it. Like, that's why I always try to tell students, like, you can enjoy studying and like exams, but I know obviously they're gonna be like, okay, miss, whatever, you old weirdo. But it's like, you know, when you're working hard at something and you're grinding and you're putting in the effort, like, it can feel good because it's like you just feel accomplished, you know. Was that one of the questions as well that someone asked on Instagram?
Oh, do you ever feel like you haven't accomplished enough? If so, how do you pull yourself up?
Yeah. Which one do you want to answer first?
I guess the first one. So how do you guys deal with down days or months? I don't really know. Like, I just let it pass. Like, I don't know. I just I think what helps is knowing that how you feel is temporary, and like it will get better, and like you won't feel like this forever kind of thing. And also just journaling helps me, like writing down how I feel. And sometimes when I journal, I kind of come to my own conclusion and my own solution through writing things out, praying to Allah, like talking to him about your problems and asking him to help you, and just being around good people who uplift you, make you feel better. And like, I'm trying to think how else I deal with it. Have a little cry, maybe.
Yeah, it's so good to cry sometimes. I say that in my in her Instagram story as well. Like, sometimes you just need to cry. Like, you just need a release because things are just happening, and you just need to, like, I don't know. For me personally, I just like it sometimes to just cry, and it just feels nice.
Do you know what I clocked as well? Like, even with your sins, Allah, like, we're meant to cry over our sins. And it's like, it's probably because Allah knows that crying releases that and makes you kind of feel better, because if you're repenting and you cry about it, like, I don't know, from my own experience anyway, like, I have felt better after I've cried about something. And
no, it feels good.
Even with sins and like repenting, like, I feel like, okay, hopefully my repentance was accepted now because I cried, even though it will still be accepted if I don't cry. But it's like you proper feel it when you cry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just showing that raw emotion. Like, I'm a big advocate for feeling your emotions. Like, and so I feel like if you have a down day, like, just embrace it and just be like, you know, I literally say things like, I say things out loud, especially now because when I'm at home and there's no one else here, it's more, I can do that easily. So like some days I'm like, oh my God, this is such a bad day. And I don't even know why really. Like a few weeks ago, I had a really bad day. And then, like, you know, sometimes you just woke up, you know, you just wake up and you're just like, I don't know, was there some kind of demon in my dream? I don't know, because I can't even remember it. But you just feel bad for no reason. No one's even done anything to you. And then like I was like, I'm so upset. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get some treats and I'm gonna watch movies and I'm gonna be lazy and I'm gonna enjoy myself. Then I was like, no, like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're actually ridiculous. Like, that doesn't make sense. Then I just started making myself feel better. And I was like, today's a good day. Like, I woke up and I'm healthy, alhamdulillah. I'm going to go for a walk. And I'm so happy. And then in my journal, I wrote all the reasons to be happy.
Aww.
And there were loads. I even did little things like the show that I'm watching. Today's episode is going to be really interesting. And like just loads of little things, and also big things like family, all of this kind of stuff. And then I was like, I'm actually fine. And I'm actually happy. But that's kind of different to like, because what I realized now is that why am I leaning in? Like, I don't know. Anyway, what I've realized is that I can, you know, those days where you're just upset for no reason, I can make myself better because I can decide I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I'll feel better. But the days, obviously, it's different if like you have down days because of something that's actually happened, like someone's actually made you feel bad, or you didn't get something, like you didn't get a job, or so that's a bit different. And I think with those, you have to just you have to accept it. So you just let yourself be sad for that day. It's fine. Like, I really wanted this job. I applied for it and I thought I did amazing in my interview and I didn't get it. I'm upset. Cry if you want, feel sad, feel, just do what you need to do, have a nap. And then when you wake back up, then you maybe get over it. Like, it depends. But I think with that, you can actually allow yourself to feel upset.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to think of like times where I've just like I've just been feeling down and like nothing I do helps me. But and when I think back to those times, like it's weird that I even experienced that because I'm like fine now. Do you know what I mean? It's just I think remembering as well, like I said, like nothing lasts forever in it. So that feeling you feel inshallah won't last forever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult
Yeah.
sometimes. And I do think sometimes just experience it. It's true, like experience what you're feeling. And yeah, being grateful is so important.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
I
Apparently,
have a gratitude log. It's so good. Like you just
yeah.
have to remind yourself. Because so what was I forgot what I was just gonna say. That's really annoying.
But yeah, also I think have you
Yeah.
remembered?
No.
Remembering a bit. But yeah, I think remembering that within the hardship that you're experiencing is ease, and that because that's what Allah tells us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's difficult to understand or grasp sometimes, but I've understood it when I've looked back at something that I've experienced that was horrible or like hard, and I realized it made me stronger, for example, or I learned something from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the ease that is
Mm-hmm.
in it, the things that
Yeah.
come after sometimes that you might not realize in the
Yeah.
moment.
100%.
So just trying to remember that, you know, with this hardship that I'm going through, like I'll become a better and a stronger person through it. So let me just try my best to get through it, and inshallah things will be good.
Yeah, exactly. I just remembered basically I was going to say what is really important is like how you obviously how you deal with it. Like that's obviously the question because I think sometimes me myself like I have when you're like angry or you're upset and then like you do things out of character but you feel like well I'm upset like I'm angry that's why I did it so blah but it's like that's actually unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
feel like
you're not a
now
child.
I feel like an adult. Yeah, I feel like an adult because now I'm like, if I'm upset or I'm having a bad day and I lash out at someone close to me, that's unacceptable. Like that's wrong. You can't do that. Like, but obviously when you're a child, maybe you're a moody teenager and you're just rude to everyone. Like people kind of understand because maybe it's your time of the month or whatever. But I feel like if you have down days and like you seem to see that your reaction is like either rude or nasty or you're lashing out or you're going to be around people that you don't that are not good for you or you start doing sins or you start doing things that are negative, that's obviously very bad. I think just really try and focus, like self-reflection is so key. Like so when a situation happens and you felt down or whatever, look at what you did and if that was helpful. Like it's so important to self-reflect at the end of the day. Just be like, I always think that, like I always think, okay, what was today like? Okay, like what did I do? Like what shouldn't I have done? Like next time this happens. And obviously you just learn and you grow, but there are certain things that I do and I do it kind of not frequently, but every time that situation arises, I found myself pulled into the same reaction that I would do. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, next time I could feel this situation arising, I know how I'm gonna act. And obviously you just keep trying, innit? And then inshallah it works.
100%. That is really good to like reflect on your day and like the emotions you felt and how you reacted, kind of thing. But also disclaimer, like obviously,
Yeah.
if someone's like experiencing depression or anxiety or something like that, or any kind of mental health problems, then obviously like try your best to see someone about it, like a professional.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah,
giving
that's
advice
completely
from our
different.
own
Yeah,
experience,
yeah, yeah.
and I think obviously
Yeah.
yeah, we can't necessarily relate to someone who's experiencing like depression or something like that.
Yeah. We're not medical professionals.
But yeah, the other question that we got asked, do you ever feel like you haven't accomplished enough? If so, how do you pull yourself up? Do you want to go first, Trix, or shall I? I mean, I haven't thought about
Yeah,
it.
go.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
go.
kind of, yeah, like 100%, I always feel like I haven't accomplished enough. And sometimes this is me opening up and being vulnerable here. But like sometimes the reason for my sadness in life is because I feel like I'm not good enough. Like, and I went through this really like weird phase recently where like, and I told you, do you remember? Like I was sad
Yeah.
for a really long time, like, and I just kept crying, like, because I didn't feel like I was good enough in life. Like hadn't made enough of from my life, and like I don't know, do you know what I mean? Just basically, yeah, I just didn't feel like I had accomplished enough, and like I didn't feel like I was good enough to accomplish things and things like that. And like I still feel like that every now and again. And how do you pull yourself up? I don't know. I think
but like, what makes you feel like you haven't accomplished enough? Is it because of the things that you've set yourself, or is it because of what you think people think you should have accomplished by now?
I don't know, it's just how I feel.
It's just,
yeah, I guess maybe it's comparing myself to others around me, or like maybe like deep down I know that I can do better than what I've done in life. So it's like it annoys me kind of thing. But I think I don't like when I'm in a good mood, like right now, like I don't think that about myself. Like I don't think I haven't accomplished enough. Like I think I've done a lot in my life, and like I have a lot to be proud about and happy about.
But also, don't be so hard on yourself. Like you're 24, like you're literally a child.
Yeah, like so right now, like I don't feel like that, but it's just a mental state of mind that I sometimes get in, and I can't. I just think that about myself. Do you know what I mean?
100% get you. I feel like just obviously do remember, like, and there might be other people that feel like this as well. I was gonna say if you're in your early 20s, but actually whatever age you are, like it's never over and it's never too late. So the question poses it as like, do you feel like you haven't accomplished enough? As if like we're at the end, like we're not at the end, but it's a journey, and like
exactly
maybe at this point, and then you can just it's never too late to try, you know?
Yeah. And it's like when I was in uni, it's like, okay, when I finish my degree, I feel like I've accomplished enough. That happened and I still don't feel like I've accomplished enough. Do you know what I mean? It's a continuous journey. Like don't give yourself these goals like the guy who wrote Atomic Habits was saying, I guess.
Yeah.
Because sometimes goals can just make you feel limited and make you feel like you're only good enough once you complete that goal. But that's not true. It's about who you are right now as a person and what you're doing with your life now. And so how do I pull myself up? I actually don't know. I think I just try to remind myself of the things I have accomplished and I feel like I've accomplished, and like, yeah, just reminding myself that the journey doesn't end, like, kind of thing. And don't be too hard on yourself, I guess, as well. But I say this, but like I said, I still feel that sometimes, like, I have moments where, like, I just feel like, oh my gosh, what is my life? Like, but yeah, I think keeping yourself busy and occupied and learning new skills as well. Like if you're continuously learning new skills and doing, what's the word? Productive things.
Yeah.
You won't feel like that. But yeah, what about you, Shooks?
I feel like I used to. I feel like I don't obviously everyone has days where you're just like, whoa, okay, this feeling just came out of nowhere and now I feel like a loser. But most days, like I do feel okay. And like I used to have what was it? Destination happiness. So like I was never happy ever. Like I used to like when I think it, like I always say this to you, like I feel like I'm a different person. Because sometimes when I look back at how I was and how I felt, I'm like, you're so annoying. Like, and I think I wasn't very nice to myself. Like I was just always hating on myself, like, you're so disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And like, I could look at certain things and be like, you've been trying to lose weight for like 10 years, but you're still fat. So what is going on? Like, obviously you haven't accomplished anything, but it's like having that perspective of like, I need to do this, I need to be that, but thinking so negatively, it didn't help me at all. Like it only made me worse. So I'm actually not surprised that I'm in a situation now where if I would have just started and continued, like if I had my mindset now at 16, I feel like I would have been completely different. But it's okay. Like I feel like, I don't know, maybe last year
in order to have this mindset now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just feel like alhamdulillah now I just feel like I'm closer to Allah. Like I feel like I'm much more religious and just not in terms of like actions, just in terms of like beliefs and like my thoughts and how I see things. Yeah, like and also I don't know, like there was this weird transition. Probably is because of COVID and 2020. Like I'm not gonna lie, but all of it coming together, or maybe just becoming 24. I don't know, but I feel like I'm just more, as I said, reflective. But I always feel like I haven't accomplished enough. Like, but that's kind of what keeps me going. Because if I felt like, oh, I've accomplished everything, then I just wouldn't try. But I'm always like, hey, what else can I do on the side? Sometimes I do too much and then I regret it, which isn't good. But I like being in that state of like, okay, what else can we do? What else is there? What's like, I enjoy that. But the times when I have felt not accomplished, how do you pull yourself up? I think like exactly what you said, kind of thing, like keeping yourself busy and planning things, like just sit down, like maybe do a journal, maybe plan some things out, like what can you do, what are your options? Like I feel like life is always better when you have options, but when you feel like I only can go down this path, it's a bit, you know what I mean, it's not that
So
yeah,
sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's not that, I don't know, bright. The future's not that bright.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, we don't always have to be doing stuff to feel good about ourselves. Like sometimes it's fine to just chill, and it's
That's
fine to
true.
have some time to yourself, and like not always feel like you need to be doing something or accomplishing something. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like just chill sometimes and be happy with that.
Yeah, like sometimes it's fine, but what I've realized is that when you're chilling, you know the time. So, for example, in this half term, I am chilling because I feel like I have worked hard this term. So,
Mm.
because I've done like loads of things, I feel really accomplished. Like, and then when half term was coming, I felt really happy because I was gonna like just relax and enjoy it. But like, for example, at uni, I would always give myself breaks and rest and stuff like that. But I don't deserve that. I feel like
Yeah. No, but
a well-deserved rest.
some people do work too hard and they think they never deserve a break, but they do. So like it is important to have that
Yeah.
time where you give yourself a break.
Yeah, 100%, like 100%. So I'm just laughing because I remember the uni days, yeah, where like I would go to uni and do work for like 30 minutes and then I'd go and get lunch with my friends and we'll just chat for like 3 hours. And then
Yeah.
we'll be like, yeah, should we just go? Then we'll go back to the house and just chill. Like it was so psychotic, but it was fun time.
But yeah, whoever is going through something similar to us, inshallah, may Allah help you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Inshallah. I'm reading because if anyone's read these, let me know because I need to get into. So I'm reading The Year of the Runaways. It's a fat, thick book, 500 pages,
oh my
and
God.
I've only read 30 pages, but I need to get into it because apparently it's amazing. And I'm also reading Small Island by Andrea Levi. I'm not sure. And those I'm finding really difficult, but I know that they're good, meaningful books. But
Why?
I'm not in the mind frame.
Why are you finding it difficult?
Okay, so basically, I started them, and they're about people like I think one of them's about like three guys who come from India to Britain, and then the other one's about a couple or a couple of couples that come to England from Jamaica. So it's about like immigration and making it
Oh,
work, and like it's serious topics.
mm.
Um, and then I started reading Still Me by Jojo Mize, which is like a really chilled,
Already read
light-hearted
that.
book.
Haven't you already read that?
No, I don't. No, I didn't. I read Me Before You and After You, but I didn't
Oh,
read the last one. I started it, but basically I was like, I just want an easy read because these days I just feel like I don't want to read serious things because I feel like the world is so bad, and I just want to like even on TV, like I don't want to watch serious documentaries anymore. Whereas before I would. I'm just like I just want to watch Friends or like Superstore. Superstore's so good, by the way. I'm
yeah,
married at
my
first
sister watches
sight.
that sometimes.
Does she? But anyway, so I'm kind of finding it difficult because I want to just read light-hearted things, but I know I need to get into the serious things. So I'm going to try and do that, inshallah. But yeah, those are the books I'm reading.
Lovely jubbly.
All right, let's go.
But
All
yeah,
right, the last question.
yeah, one of the questions we got, which was really sweet, just the way she wrote it and stuff, bless her. So she wants to know like about our hijab journeys and how we're confident in dressing modestly and wearing hijab in like non-Muslim areas. And she feels like she has a strong connection with hijab and everything, but um she just has like a problem with fitting in sometimes. So she just wants tips and advice, um, and our personal journeys. So yeah, who wants to go first?
You go.
Um,
But also, thank you very much for your message. We really appreciate it. I don't know if she wants to say her name, so maybe we won't. But thanks so much for your adorable message. It was really cute.
yeah. Do you want to go first, Jux? Because I just need to
Okay.
relax for a second. I just feel a bit.
Okay. So my hijab journey, unfortunately, like there's not much content there because I started wearing hijab when I was like 8. I don't know, or maybe even younger, like at primary school. I've always worn hijab. alhamdulillah, and like it hasn't really been that much of a difficult journey for me in terms of like wanting to take it off. However, I can understand that, like, you know, you might sometimes be in situations where like you're the only one wearing hijab, you're the only one wearing certain clothing, and it can make you feel a bit left out or a bit awkward. Like I've been at like uni events, or even after that, like just certain events where like I'm the only person wearing hijab. So I can definitely understand that struggle. I think what helps me to kind of deal with it and maybe like get through it is remembering that like it's okay to be different, and like we are meant to be different. Like we don't need to blend in with everyone else. And I have met loads of Muslims and like people that I do see, and I understand why people, you know, do certain things, because, you know, you just want to fit in, you want people to like you want to be like your colleagues, or you want to be like your friends, so you do certain things to be more accepted. But alhamdulillah, I feel like there is a strength in being different and understanding that like that can be like your thing. Like people come and speak to you about Islam, because, you know, when we wear the hijab, obviously there is the burden of being a representation of Islam, and that can definitely be difficult. But there's also like a blessing in it, and it can also be a nice thing, because people will come to you and they'll ask questions, and you can be like their opening to Islam. Do you get it? Like, and if you're basically, it can be a kind of da'wah, and it can be something positive, because I think a lot of people might just be curious, and hopefully people won't actually want to make you feel like alienated. So I think I've just had to embrace my difference. And also, like, I'm a Black woman, I'm a Black Muslim Somali woman, like I'm different. Like we live in Britain, I'm not like everyone else.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that.
Also,
you know?
we live in
But
London, innit? Where it's
yeah.
where there are quite, like, we went to a not Muslim school, we went to a school where me and Shukri went in secondary school, by the way, for those who don't know. But yeah, we went in our secondary school, there were so many Muslims and so many hijabis.
Yeah.
We didn't feel like we were the odd one out or the only ones there. So I think that definitely and makes it easy for us. Whereas people who live in like the outskirts or like the countryside or different areas in the UK or in anywhere in the world where they're the only ones, like I can't even imagine how difficult that would be. Like it's difficult because alhamdulillah, similarly to Shukri, like I have had my struggles, and I do still have my struggles, but generally like hijab is something that is easy for me, alhamdulillah. Sorry, had you finished, by the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so I think it's important to like you said, just remember it's okay to be different and to stand out, and that's what makes you, and you're getting even more reward for that, and Allah knows your struggle, and so you're gonna get so much more reward for like wearing a hijab when you're struggling. And when you're in school, right, you think that time is like forever, and you think that's so important, and you think it's so important to be the most popular person, to stand out and to fit in with everyone. But when you leave, I'm telling you, like, you'll realize how not important that was, and how you're happy that you stood by your own morals and your beliefs and your identity, and you didn't change for those people, because you're not going to really see those people again probably. Your life moves on when you leave school, so just try your best to stay as strong as you can, and remember that school is going to finish one day, and when it does, like, you'll start a new chapter in your life, and inshallah that chapter will be an easier chapter with wearing a hijab, and you'll be more like, you won't be like in this system of school and where you need to fit in with everyone. You'll be able to be your own individual and be comfortable with that. Like even uni, like it's a nice environment. Well, my uni was anyway, where you don't feel like you need to fit in. You can just be yourself, and that's it. Like no one cares how you dress. No one cares what you're wearing, what you're doing. But obviously, I don't know if all unis are like that. Was your uni like that? Do you agree?
Not really. No, but I do agree with you, because I feel like that is true about uni. Like at school, everyone's trying to fit in, but then when you leave school, everyone's trying to stand out. So it's like, it's fine to do that.
Swaps. It's like everyone wants to be
different. Everyone wants to be an individual, blah. But to be fair, like actually, when I think about it, uni probably was the most difficult time for me, because it was the place, because I went to uni not in London. I went to uni in Sheffield. I don't know why I'm trying to. Anyway, I went to uni in Sheffield, and like the uni that I went to, Sheffield University, it isn't very diverse in my opinion, and not on my course, because I studied law. Like So I'm not gonna lie, those are the times where I had the most confrontations. Like, alhamdulillah, I had Islamic society, so like I had friends that were Muslim, but like day to day, like going to lectures, going to seminars, no, like no one was like me, and no one got it. Like, it was just,
there definitely
I don't know how to explain it.
Some unis and some courses where like you still probably might feel like the odd one out and you might still want to fit in, but
yeah, like luckily I was the type of person that, like, you know, there's two different types of people, because I went to uni in South London and school in South London, and I was very loud and opinionated and irritating probably, but like, because I was that type of person and all my friends, we all had strong views about everything. Yeah, when I got to uni, I was equipped with that confidence. So like, I didn't care if people were saying things. Like, if there's 4 people across from me and they're all saying rubbish, like, I will say, no, I don't think that. Like, and I was very vocal, but so I feel like, because I haven't, but there was a time where I felt like, oh my God, this keeps happening. And I did feel a bit alienated from everyone else on the course or people in my friendship group, because I just felt like they don't get me, they don't know me, like, people, like, I'm just tired of constantly explaining. But I think that's a completely different struggle. But I just think, what I would say, I would agree with Habiba, like, don't try to change yourself to fit in with these people that are not gonna like appreciate your difference. And like, there are some really good people who will accept you as a modest dressing hijabi girl, and they'll love you for that, for sticking to your principles. But I think there is a pandemic, okay, of people taking their hijab off, and like, I don't want to get too into it, because I don't want to feel like I'm attacking any particular person, because I'm not. But just on the internet, but also in real life, like, there was a time I was like, oh my God, everyone's just taking the hijabs off. But yeah, I mean,
it's a struggle. And like, literally, like, Prophet ﷺ told us that holding onto our deen will be like holding onto a hot coal. Like, it will be so difficult. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not meant to be easy, unfortunately. Like, these times that we live in is meant to be difficult. And that's just our test as Muslims living in this time and this day and age. And one hadith that always like makes me feel good and like makes me feel strong and makes me feel like I don't care if I'm different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be different. Is the hadith where the Prophet says, obviously this isn't like exact, but the rough gist of it, Islam came as something strange and it will leave as something strange. So glad tidings to the strangers, which is basically saying like, when Islam first came about during his times, like the Quraysh and stuff, it was something very different, and like they were all seen as strange and like outsiders, and they were like not conforming to society standards. And so it came as something like that. And now we're kind of like towards the end of times, and it's like, that's kind of what Islam's becoming like again. Like, it's something strange. All of so many of our morals and values are like not with society. With society's morals and values today. Do you know what I mean? So but the Prophet ﷺ tells us glad tidings to those strangers, to us who are strangers and seen as something strange in society. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I love that.
Yeah, it's like we have the Prophet ﷺ's approval and Allah's approval. That's all we need. Like, we don't need society's approval, or these people in your like people in your class. You don't need their approval. Just remember your reward is with Allah, and that our ultimate goal is to reach Jannah and to please Allah. So all these people don't matter. But
and I do think, just on the hijab topic, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, it's fine.
Like, so basically on the hijab topic, like, for me, like, what I've realized is, I remember for ages I just kept thinking, why are these people taking the hijab? Like, what's going on? But that's only because, like, for me personally, it's never been a struggle, and alhamdulillah for that. Like, it's never been something hard for me, so I can't relate. So I try to, like, even though certain people might take the hijab off or whatever, at the end of the day, they're still our sisters in Islam, and we should still be kind to them, and we should still support them, and like, just carry on, like, because I think sometimes, like, what we have to remember is everyone has their own struggle, isn't it? Obviously now it seems like there's one collective struggle, but it's like, just because I can't relate to it, and just because I can't understand it, it doesn't mean that I should think, that I'm better than them. Not that anyone would, but I don't want this to like alienate people that don't wear hijab, because if that's your struggle, that's understandable, and we're all sinners. So if that's your struggle, like, inshallah, may Allah make it easy for you, and one day you do wear it and get back on it, inshallah. So like, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, what I'm saying is literally mainly I'm speaking to this girl, like, because she's asked, she is someone who wears hijab and is struggling with it. So I'm literally speaking to her. Like, I'm not trying to at anyone else or say, if you're not wearing hijab, you're not a strange, and do you know what I mean? Like, you're not, like, no, like, honestly, it's literally just to question. But yeah, so that's what I would say. And my hijab journey, I've gone through mad ups and downs, like, but I went to Muslim primary school, so I started getting used to wearing hijab then. So it was kind of like good in that sense because it became easy. And then in secondary school, I did struggle with it a little bit, and like I took it off here and there and stuff, but I never like fully took it off. Like, I just sometimes take it off without my mum knowing when I was going out somewhere with some friends or something. But like having Muslim friends and stuff really helped, obviously, because they're all Muslim, they're all wearing hijab. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm the odd one out. But in the beginning of secondary school, I did feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. I did feel like I didn't fit in, and I wanted to fit in, so I wanted to take it off, and I wanted to I literally remember being on the phone to my mum, and I was like, "Mummy." I can't remember. I think I either asked if I can take my hijab off completely. Like, can I take my hijab off, please? Like, when I'm in school, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, Habiba, you can't remember. And I was just like, okay, then can I at least wear it in like a bandana, like as a bandana, like up? And she was like, no. I can't even remember exactly what she said. I just remember her saying,
"Your jokes. What year were you in? Were you in
like year 7, I think? So, like, I do definitely remember like struggling with it, but alhamdulillah, it didn't last for too long, and it didn't get out of control where like,
alhamdulillah,
to continue wearing it, kind of thing. But also, and then I'm so funny, I don't know why I was funny, but then I started in the car when I was like 18, because I went to Egypt. So I've been through all of it, like and then that was really lovely. And like,
what was it like being in the niqabi, like in London, where it's not as like, not everyone is in niqabi? Did you feel that feeling of like isolation?
But when like you really want to do something, when your heart is really connected to it, you kind of don't care what people think in it. So it's like, so what was interesting about this girl's question is because she said she does feel like she has a strong relationship with the hijab, which is so beautiful, but she's still struggling, bless her. So which kind of makes me sad, because it's like, I don't know, it's difficult when someone does feel like they have a strong relationship with it, but they're still struggling. Just may Allah make it easy for you, and I hope the things we've said help you. But with niqab, like,
you get reward for that struggle. It's fine.
You get reward for that struggle. But with niqab, the reason I took it off was because it wasn't in my heart as much, and I didn't have such a strong relationship with it as I did before. So naturally, you want to take it off, and I guess maybe sometimes that can be with the hijab as well. Like, if you don't feel like you have that strong relationship, you want to take it off. But I don't think this girl wants to take it off or anything, which is good, mashallah. She just struggles with it. But then I stopped wearing niqab, and like, not gonna lie, like the way I dressed started to go downhill a little bit. But recently I feel
the ankles came out.
You joke. But recently I've started to consciously like dress more modestly again and stuff. So I think hijab is just a constant struggle and a constant battle for some people, like where you're gonna have ups and downs, just like with everything, with iman as well. Our iman is always gonna fluctuate and go up and down. So that will happen with hijab, like, as well. And I think as long as you're just always trying and you have like good people around you who will remind you. So like, I'm not sure if you have any Muslim friends and stuff, but just try and keep good company. And sometimes it's difficult because in some areas in the UK, like, there's not many Muslims, so it's difficult to have Muslim friends.
But where is she from? Did she say?
Yeah.
Or maybe don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say. But
not in London.
Yeah, she's not from London, but I hope that helps, and I think that's everything.
I hope that helps. Definitely join Islamic societies once you get to uni, inshallah, if they're good. Needs to care about. But yeah, what you said about the school and being like 16 or like just being young and in school, like I know how it feels. You literally feel like everything that happens from day to day, like you go home and you think about it, and it's like your entire world is what happened at school and who looked at you and who said this and the drama and whatever, like, and that can feel like your entire world. But I promise you, like in a few years, like that's done. Like, it's done and dusted. Everyone grows up, people have kids, people get married, people get jobs, and they just it's immaterial. And so hopefully like maybe you can understand that, and then that will kind of help you to not care so much about what they think. Not that you do care, but just knowing, sometimes when okay, like I'll be fine after this. I just need to get through it.
Oh my god, I kind of wish like I had someone telling me this stuff when I was in school, because like when I was in school, I literally was like life, like that was it.
I was a psychopath.
Like no one told me when you were in school, like don't worry, like you won't even care about what happened.
But at the same time, if someone had told you, would you have believed them? Who knows? Exactly. Because it's hard. Like
they are important, and then they might form who you become, kind of thing. And like it's definitely important to have a nice time in school, but like your life does not end in school. Like your life isn't. School. But yeah, I think that's it. We've been talking for very long.
But yeah, like if people do have any other like questions or like dilemmas, okay, not dilemmas, but just like thoughts and things that questions and like discussion topics that they want us to talk about, please do send them in, because it's really interesting to us.
Yeah, and sorry if we reply late. Like I said, I try not to go on Instagram that much, and also I'm really sorry if there were background noises and stuff.
Yeah, there.
Bye. I'm joking. Salam, guys. Thank you for listening.
Salam, guys. See ya.